What's your confidence level in Jimmy G heading into Sunday?
Well, it ain't that great. I didn't think he had a great game last week against Minnesota, but obviously the defense handled their business along with some key plays. We get all of that. The reality of the situation is clear. Jimmy G, Jimmy Garappolo, a.k.a. porn star Jimmy, is definitely a far different quarterback with George Kittle on the field and productive than he is without George Kittle. That's really what this comes down to. Now, one could argue you could have once said the same thing about Tom Brady with Rob Gronkowski. And before that, Aaron Hernandez. We get all of that. But the flip side to it is, this is one thing that I keep saying, Lewis, and I keep saying this over and over and over again. It's not that Jimmy G can't play, and I think you got players so ultra-sensitive. All right, fine, come to his defense. Do that. All right? Nobody said that Jimmy G didn't deserve his $137 million, the $72 million guaranteed. Well, what he's done and the way he wins when he's on the football field, you can't take any credit away from him. The brother is not a scrub. He's a good-looking dude as well, so he's box office in that regard, too. You got those kind of things going on in the eyes of the growing public and beyond. Here's the reality. I can talk about the defensive line before him. I can talk about the secondary before him. I can talk about the running game before him. I can talk about George Kittle before him. I can talk about Kyle Shanahan's play calling before him. I've got 5 layers that I can get to before I even think about Jimmy G. And my point is, with that being the case, when we talk about elite quarterbacks, we're talking about everything riding on Aaron Rodgers' shoulders. We're talking about Patrick Mahomes and what this brother's going to bring to the table, okay? Jimmy G is basically talked about in the same breath damn near as Ryan Tannehill over the last 2 months.
Jimmy G was 2-0 with the Patriots. He was 5-0 with the Niners. He got hurt. They went 4-12. He came back. They went 13-3. I mean, all the dude does is win. You know who Jimmy G reminds me of? Tom Brady. Why do you think Belichick wanted to get rid of Tom Brady for him? In the first half of Tom Brady's career, people forget now, before he became a truly amazing quarterback, he was a really good player, 3,500 yards, 24 TDs, 12 interceptions, something like that. And he would get you in, he had a bye in the first round, usually, best record in the conference. And then he'd win a home playoff game by getting you to within field goal range where in a close game where he could rely on his defense, running game, and then the field goal kicker would win it for you, right? In his case, one of the greatest ever. Kind of sounds like Garoppolo now. But Brady, as we've seen from Garoppolo with the money on the line, was money. He was good. You could trust him. I get the same feeling from Garoppolo. I've seen it this season. The reason I'm not picking them is not that I don't have confidence in Jimmy G. The reason is neither Tom Brady nor Jimmy G nor almost anyone who ever lived until Patrick Mahomes came around can elevate to the place Aaron Rodgers can. So it's not that I think Jimmy G is going to screw it up. I think he'll come through. But I think in the moment of truth, Aaron Rodgers will do things that normal human beings simply can't do. I have confidence in Jimmy G, though. He will make the plays you need him to make.
Look, I have the utmost confidence in Jimmy G. Look, I said this. When they traded for him, that would be the best trade or among the best trades that San Francisco had ever conducted in their franchise history relative to what they gave up to get him. Look, Stephen A., I'll say this. Those 5 layers that you talk about, I think that's exactly, if you're a San Francisco 49er executive, that's exactly how you want it. You want there to be 5 different layers, 5 different sections of your football team that people want to talk about before they talk about your quarterback, because you know what that means? He has no pressure on him. He doesn't have anybody expecting him to carry this football team, which means he can play fast and free. And in the biggest of moments this year, point to the Saints game, point to the Packers game before, he ripped both of those teams.
Quick decision maker.
I know what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with you.
I'm just saying it's being a little slick now, because the bottom line is when you're that great, you can't avoid bringing the quarterback up. That's what I'm saying.
He's going to rip it this week.
All right, guys, we got to be quick with this, but what Super Bowl do we want to see?
Kansas City, San
versus
Francisco.
Mahomes for all the marbles.
No.
Rodgers versus Mahomes for all the marbles.
I want to see that top one right there. That's the one I'm picking. Chiefs versus 49ers. That will be a big-time game.
That's me. That's me right there.
Game.
I want Patrick Mahomes against that secondary, Max. I want to see what he does against that secondary. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.